Welcome back to another Crabs reading vlog. I don't have a physical copy because physical copies of these books after the first one are very expensive in the US. They're like $30 or more. So I didn't get a physical copy, but the digital copy is $4.99, so I got that. And we're going to be reading it on my Kindle. So if you did not see the first video where I talked about this, or if you didn't see Max and I's joint review of Night of the Crabs by Guy and Smith, I will link it below in the description and in the cards up above. It was amazing. It was so much fun. I rated this book 4 stars. I cannot tell you why, but I had a lot of fun reading it, was the main thing. And sometimes I think people forget how fun reading is supposed to be, and man, was that book fun. It was bananas, it was weird, but it was a lot of fun.
I can reach for a well-worn book to give me an escape.
Speaking of bananas, I think this is going to be the first video in a series I am starting called Bananas Books, where I read, as the title would imply, really bananas sounding books, and then do like dedicated reading vlogs for reading them. Yeah, I already have like a huge list because there's a lot in the romance world of really just bananas books, and then there's some pulp books that I've figured out, and so this is going to be episode 1. We're going to call Night of the Crabs episode 0 because I hadn't technically started it yet. But yeah, if you have any books to recommend that are bananas that you think I would like, or that you think would be interesting for me to read, feel free to put them down in the comments down below, or even just like reply me on Twitter or whatever. All my social medias are in the description. You can just shout at me wherever you prefer. So we're gonna start Killer Crabs. I haven't read any of it yet. Max has already read it. Speaking of, once again, we're reviewing this together. We're doing a joint review of Killer Crabs by Guy and Smith, which is what this is for, book 2 of the Crabs series. So I hope you're all excited. I have it open on my Kindle now. I read with my font giant because I am an old lady. But I don't know what to expect from this. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I just know the first one was a treasure, and I'm so glad that there are 8 of them in total, I believe, for us to go through. And then also we might have found more crab books that we will probably also read. So this will not be just a crab series of my bananas books thing, this journey that we are going on. However, there will be a lot of the crab bananas books, so I hope you enjoy these. If you don't, that's fine. You don't have to watch. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. You can go watch something else. I'm gonna update as I read. I don't know how much I'll update. I'm gonna try and keep updating until the end, where I failed last time because I just got so sucked into this goddamn book. So wish me luck, I guess. But yeah, I have no idea about any of this. We're still following Cliff. If you know what's going on. If you didn't watch the reading vlog of us talking about Night of the Killer Crabs, it was basically just a pulp horror book about a guy who is like his nephew and the nephew's like girlfriend get murdered on holiday, and he goes out to try and like help figure out what was happening, and then he sees these marks in the sand and he's like, oh my god, it's giant crabs. And from there, as you can assume, giant crabs that kill people. I mean, that's all you need to know. And these books are $4.99, so please go check them out. They're amazing. They're so good. Well, the first one was amazing and very good. We're about to see how the second one is. So I'll return to you in a few. Okay, I'm already like into this. I just read the prologue, but we're with this guy who's like dying, and he's on a boat. It's his boat. And once again, we just have this weird seaman thing where like they want to die at sea. Like that's just, it's like, if I have to die, at least I died at sea. But this captain did not die yet. He's gonna soon though, because he's dealing with some heart problems. However, chapter 1 says the underwater world of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. And now we're in Australia? How did the crabs get to Australia? I have a lot of questions. I'm hoping that they will be answered. Okay, I'm in chapter 2 now, and I think our main character is Glenn, this guy. I don't even like him as much as Cliff, and I did not like Cliff very much. He's super fucking racist, first of all, and also just like took a shot at some guys on a boat because they were also fishing. Like, oh my god, what an asshole. But he just saw king crab in the water. So he had like an experience, and then he's talking to a reporter, and we learn that it's been 4 years since the thing that happened in book 1, which is just wild for me to think about. Like, 4 years since the giant crabs, and they're just chilling in Australia? Like, what is happening? Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading, but Clint, or whatever his name is already on my shit list. I hope he dies. Okay, Clint did not go with the fisherman for this second night's outing. He had to go through with some lady, because, you know, that's... obviously there has to be sex in these books. How couldn't there? Anyway, this guy has like a tube thing to like help him, and is like swimming away from the boat because they've just been attacked by what they think are sharks, but what I'm pretty sure is giant crabs. I just had to read you this little section because it's a lot. So if you don't like gore or limb amputation, maybe skip ahead a few seconds, because I'm going to read a few pages. So, he had barely completed 2 strokes of a panic-stricken crawl before something gripped him by both thighs, checking his progress immediately. The sudden pain was agonizing, but it lasted for no more than a second, and then he was free of whatever had held him. He struck out again blindly. Something was wrong, and he could not determine quite what it was. He felt numbed, and his legs' thrusts did not appear to be propelling him along as they should have done. In fact, he appeared to be making no progress at all. Something bobbed against him. He grabbed at it for support. A piece of driftwood, maybe. He clung to it with both hands and kicked again with his legs. Once more his efforts appeared to be futile, and then he saw the object on which he was relying to help him gain the safety of the coral. A human leg. His own! The bloody limb still had his shabby pimsole attached to the foot. Reading is hard. Mercilessly, no, that's not the right word. Mercifully, he passed out before the razor-sharp incisions which had amputated both his legs found a hold on his neck and beheaded him. The 3 survivors were clinging precariously to the bottom of the second overturned boat. The waves beneath them whipped to a white foam, streaked here and there with crimson. Then they saw the first of their attackers. 2 pinchers, larger than the anchor which they had thrown earlier, were bearing down on the upturned bows, lifting the stern clear of the water. I'm gonna go back to reading now. I think I'm in chapter 4 now. I don't know. I'm 31% through the book, my Kindle says. So, we're in the point of view of one of the Japanese boats that's like illegally fishing off of the coast of this island that Clint is super up in arms about and super racist about. However, they just caught one of the giant crabs. It's about 4 feet across, apparently, and he just said, "A monster, a prize indeed. It will fetch 10 times the price of an ordinary crab." And the creature hissed menacingly. Can crabs hiss? Is that a sound that crabs can make? 'Cause, like, I'm kind of scared now. Can, like, normal crabs hiss? Is that a crab noise? I don't really know that much about crabs, I've realized, and I'm real concerned now about hissing crabs. Because that just doesn't seem right. I feel like crabs should not hiss. I'm just thinking about crabs hissing, and for some reason this is more unsettling than, like, this pincher snipping and everything. It's the hissing that's really thrown me off. Anyway, I assume all of the people in this boat will be dead soon, so we'll see how that goes for them. Great news, everyone. Crabs do not hiss, which I didn't think they did because I wasn't sure how they would hiss. You need vocal cords, I'm pretty sure, to produce that kind of noise. But you know, I don't know much about crabs, I've realized. We really need to do like a Max Explains Crabs to Me episode. Because I don't know anything about crabs. The most I know about crabs is that, like, they pinch your toes at the beach, and that's all I got. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading this, but I am still haunted now by the sound that I thought was a crab, but was not. It was a sugar glider. It was a horrifying sound, though, I've got to tell you. It was horrifying. I'm just gonna redo this sentence. I also just started talking before actually hitting record, so we're going great. But gradually the screaming on board died down. The only sounds to be heard were a steady crunching and eager slurping. That's a lot. So, everyone on that boat is dead now. Yeah. There's quite a few deaths so far. And Cliff has been called. I don't think I mentioned that, but Cliff got a phone call and is heading to the island to give his assistance, I guess. I don't know. Apparently he is the, like, you know, he has all the knowledge about the crabs. He's been working on studying them for the last 4 years since the first crab incident happened. And he's been dreading the crabs coming back, and now they are back. And he's not letting his now wife, former whatever she was in the first book, join him. Because he's obviously worried about her. Which I will admit, you know, normally I'm like, just let the girl make her own decisions. But also, like, no, maybe, like, I kind of agree with the, like, not letting someone else or anyone you love going near the giant crabs, since they seem to, like, murder everything in their path. Like, that seems like a good idea to me. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading, but wow, that whole section was a ride for me. I don't know why the idea of hissing crabs, like, disturbed me so much, but it really did. Like, it's just such a weird thing if, like, a crab was, like, standing at you and would, like, held its pinchers up and then hissed at you. Like, that would be terrifying. Yeah. Also, one of the sentences is, it's as though the crustacean was grinning evilly to itself, aware of its own invincibility, which is also a great sentence. There's a lot of good sentences in the second book, too. So far, maybe not as many as in the first one, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's a lot so far. But we're gonna get these two very unlikable characters of the first and second book, these two main guy characters, to meet, I assume, very shortly. And that will be interesting, because I don't think they're gonna like each other at all. And they're both assholes, so we'll see how that goes. I'm only 34% through now. This is slow going as the first time. It says it will take me an hour and a half to read the rest of the book. But obviously I'm stopping to talk to you, to message Bree and Max, because I was like, Max, do crabs hiss? Please answer. But it is like 3 or 4 a.m. in the UK, so obviously Max is asleep. But I just had to be like, first, Max, do crabs hiss? Important questions I have. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. These books are a lot, man. Okay, I simultaneously feel like there's more happening in this part, but also that it's dragging. So I'm like 48% through. I'm about to start chapter 6, and we have more players in it than I feel like we did last time, more characters that we've gotten, like, points of view from that aren't dead already. So I'm really curious as to how this is all going to play out, as if there's a plan. It feels, I don't know, I feel like at this point in the last book, they were already, like, throwing tanks in the ocean and stuff, so we'll see. I'm going to keep reading. I'm very tired, but I'm going to keep reading. Okay, hold on, there was just a sentence said, and I don't know, I'm just going to read it to you, because I can't understand. The sound was intensified by the hills at the rear, a noise that heralded death as sure as the clicking of knitting needles below the guillotines during the French Revolution. What does that mean? Am I missing a history thing? I have so many questions. I'm 52% in now. The crabs are attacking, as you can tell. I'll be back. This is going to be a long reading vlog, I can already tell. I'm not sorry about it either. Okay, so the crabs have taken the hotel, which, you know, I'm just kind of really proud of them about. Like, they really planned that really well. No one expected it. I'm about to start chapter 7. I'm 58% through this book now, and my Kindle says it will take me less than an hour to finish. And I am really enjoying this one as well. I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as the first one, but I'm not sure. It's still just, like, a fun, ridiculous read. Like, there are giant crabs murdering people. And I will say, I have to give it to that one guy that just killed himself instead of letting the crabs kill him. Because that was the thought I was having on the boat earlier when all the men were dying, and they were shooting at the crabs and realizing that the guns weren't doing anything. Like, they saw how their captain died. They did not want to die like that. Why not just shoot themselves instead of the crabs? I mean, that's really dark and horrible, but, like, if you have to die, I think I would rather die that way than being literally dismembered and disemboweled by crabs. Maybe that's just me, though. Unsure. And let me know how you would prefer to die in the comments down below. Going a little bit wonky now. Wonky. Loopy. Okay. Okay, I'm back again almost immediately because the sentence is just too good to not repeat to you. The crabs hated boats more than anything else. I mean, it makes sense, but it also just sounds so fucking ridiculous. I love it a lot. I was gonna come back anyway because they've just realized that king crab is actually queen crab, which is like amazing. I'm so proud of her, honestly. I'm so proud of her. But also, they're talking about how so many of the things could have been the crabs in the past, like so many of the boats or something that have gone missing, so many mysteries left unsolved because of these killer crabs. The sentence, the Bermuda Triangle, for instance, was just uttered, and I just... Man. The Bermuda Triangle exists because giant killer crabs live there. I mean, everything makes more sense now. I am now 87% through this book, so it's been a little while since I've updated you. A lot is going on. There's like a suitcase full of money that's playing hot potato. There's the giant crabs. They finally found where they think the giant crabs are going to like have their mating thing. This is what they've been looking for when all the crabs get together, and then they're going to try and bomb it or something. It's all very weird. I don't even know what to say about it. I am still enjoying it, and I am still reading it, and I do want to see how it ends. But I have a feeling that these are going to start to drag as we get further in. Just these middle bits where there's no crab fighting are kind of boring. I do really like the crab battles, though. Crab battles are real good, I've got to say. So, I'm going to keep reading. Apparently it will take me 17 minutes to finish this book. We'll see. Once again, they're eating crabs while hunting crabs. I just feel like we shouldn't be doing this. I don't know why, it just feels kind of weird. I will say, I haven't read much more. I've only read like a few more pages. I'm 90% in now. But I am really liking how this has like more going on. It isn't just the killer crabs that's going on. There was also a con woman, and then this guy that did like a bank robbery 8 years ago. And everything is, a lot is happening. A lot is happening. I'll give him that. There's a lot happening. And I'm really enjoying it so far. Like I said, it's like, it's weird. It's very outdated and racist as fuck. But, you know, the killer crab scenes are fun. Who doesn't love just the idea of giant monsters? I'm gonna keep reading now. Okay, I'm done. I finished the weird crab book. I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It was not as good as the first one, but I did really still enjoy reading it. It's just a lot of fun to read about giant killer crabs. I can't explain it better than that. But it's late. I'm gonna go to sleep. I will wrap this up tomorrow, probably after Max and I film our joint review. But yeah, I finished it. It is done. Crap. Alright, now to wrap up this reading vlog, Max and I just filmed our review, which should already be up on his channel when this goes up, so I will link that down below and in the cards above. Please go watch it. We had a lot to talk about, a lot of fun. He noticed some things I didn't. We learned new things. You know, it was an experience. We did a real deep dive on this book, and I think that you will all enjoy it because it was a lot of fun. Another thing I thought would be fun was if I read you some of my favorite quotes. I think I've already read some of them in this vlog, so I'm not going to read the ones I've already read, maybe. We'll see. But I wrote down a bunch of them because some of them were just so good. So I'm gonna read them to you. Folks went crab crazy, which is one that I sent to Brie and was like, that's us. We went crab crazy. If those hellish fiends are rising from the deep again, I don't want her anywhere near them. This is from Cliff, our main character of the first book, who makes a return in this one. Love dear old Cliff. Dear old Uncle Cliff. A monster, a prize indeed, it will fetch 10 times the price of an ordinary crab. The creature hissed menacingly, almost as though it understood his words. And then an aura of evil emanated from the crab, as surely as had the clicking of knitting needles below the guillotines during the French Revolution. If you are confused about that one, like I was, please go watch our review, because we get to the bottom of that. Just the faint click, click, clickety click as the invaders concentrated on total annihilation within the area they had conquered. He was angry, very angry. None would dare to stand in his way, from the point of view of a crab. They would be back, and their return would herald death and destruction unprecedented since the dawn of evolution. There's also the phrase crustacean attack, which was real good. Love a good crustacean attack. And I think that is it. I'm gonna post my highlights on Goodreads, which I don't normally do. So if you go over to my Goodreads, my highlights for the book should be posted there, and those will be all the good quotes if you're looking for them. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you are going to go over to Max's channel and subscribe and watch our joint review, because it was a lot of fun to film. I love filming these joint reviews with Max and reading these crazy wild books. We have a whole list of them now to get through, so I'm really excited. Yeah, and I think that is it. Life Before Death, Radiance.
Didn't know what to write about, but now I think I got it figured